Welcome to Walking Dead. This is episode 18 of season 10. Very excited to continue these extra bonus episodes and see what this one's all going to be about. I think it's like a Daryl-centric one, perhaps. I can't say I'm all too familiar with exactly what every single one's about, but I'm pretty sure, at the very least, Daryl's in it. So yeah, I don't really have many predictions, etc. To expect from this. About like plot or anything. So I'm intrigued to see how the story will continue to be extended. You know, Maggie is back now, and Daryl and everyone kind of turned up at Alexandria at the end. They need to basically rebuild that place, I guess. Tension with Negan going forward, particularly with Maggie. And yeah, the story continues. I will see what they have planned for us in this next one. But since I have no predictions or anything to expect from it, let's just jump right in. Oh, what a way to start the episode. 10 out of 10 already. He's still looking for Connie.
I didn't say you could call.
No, I don't think you get a say in that. I bet the spin-off's going to be called, like, Ride with Daryl Dixon or something.
Watch this disaster. Right?
They're so crazy, like, think when they started with these two.
No way.
Oh, best boy.
Feels different. Like everything that's good in the world is not on our side anymore.
Cheery.
The dead. It's gonna catch up to us eventually.
I mean, you're getting a spin-off, so... What is it, boy?
Another animal?
Is it Connie? Is it Rick? Is it Heath? Do you know this place? Oh, he knows this place. Is this where he gets dog from? Are we getting like a dog origin story? Because I'm here for it. Give him his own show, I say. Oh, he seems kind of nostalgic. Ooh. It's like the opposite of Avengers Endgame. Oh my god!
Where'd you come from?
Little baby dog! This is the greatest episode of all time.
How's Michonne? How's the kids?
I don't know. Daryl.
Just give her more time. She ain't ready yet.
Daryl, it's been 2 years. How long do you plan to stay out here?
He's still looking for Rick.
I should go. There's a storm coming.
Always bodes well in fiction, doesn't it? Storm approaching.
Thanks.
This man is always looking for someone.
Careful.
Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me. No, the map. Oh, what a disaster. I mean, I would have put that away when it started fucking pouring it down, but... Same. So you had a bad day. Oh my god. Trying to keep the timeline in my head. Whoa. Alright, hello.
I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
Nice to meet you too.
She lived here.
It was a long time ago.
Ooh. Oh, so Carol knows the story, I guess. Whatever the story is.
You're tied up in my cabin with a 12 gauge pointed at your head. What kind of help you think I need? Daryl.
You're letting me go.
Well, given this is a flashback, I'm not exactly surprised, buddy.
He likes me.
He's just a dog. You don't know me better.
Mhm.
But you won't tell me your name. What about his?
Dog.
Dog. That's it, just dog.
You got something better?
Nah.
Well, that's kind of cool. He kind of kept the name.
Looks like you got the wrong.
We were all like, oh, that's such a Daryl thing to do, called him Dog, but he didn't. Time after time, if you're lost, I will look and he won't find you. At least not yet. Is there a little summon going on?
Name's Leah.
Hello, Leah. Something seems a bit fishy here.
Then I won't come around again.
Good.
Great.
I feel like they're both very stubborn people. Oh. Is it tragic backstory time?
Matthew was my son. I didn't give birth to him, but he was mine.
Oh. Good comforting there, Daryl. Well done.
It felt like I ran forever. Then I ended up here and I saw my boy was bit.
Oh, fuck. I can't even imagine that.
I said goodbye to him the same day Dog was born. Who'd you lose?
Phew, how long have you fucking got?
My brother.
Just pulls out a Walking Dead box set. Here, there you go.
I'm not gonna stop till I find out.
Called Rick his brother.
What?
First try. Told you.
Heh.
A lucky shot.
I don't want anything bad to happen to her, though. I feel like it has to.
Where do you belong, Daryl? Out there in the river? Looking for your dead brother day after day after day? Or do you belong with the family you left? Or do you belong here with me?
Oh no.
All of them?
You'll need to ask my permission to move on with your life.
That's not what this is about. I just...
You want me to move on with mine?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I want you to find some peace. I don't want to lose you because you can't figure out when to stop.
In a way, he kind of has found some peace with Leah.
I'm glad you found your peace.
But it's not enough, is it?
Yeah?
She leave. Oh my god. Damn, son. Why would she leave Dog, though?
Losing Leah, that's not on you. Neither is Rick. Or Connie.
No, that's on you. Because you never know when to stop.
And I'm not sorry for making out pay for killing Henry, because I was right.
And that's all that matters. You being right.
Oh my god, shit. Whew!
I stopped you from running. And it shouldn't have.
Oh. Wow.
Want to run?
Wow. It'll be fine, they're getting a spin-off. Bloody hell, that was quite something. Okay, we thought the ship awards were bad enough. Now there's another one in the mix. I'm gonna just be quite frank and say I bloody adored this episode. I thought it was awesome. I think it's gonna be quite a divisive one. And, you know, the fact that we won, you know, originally we weren't even going to get this episode, I guess. I don't know if they were just going to do this in like season 11 or if it was just an idea they thought of for the bonus episodes. Because this is a big thing for Daryl's character to add to him. If they weren't actually ever planning on putting it in season 11 or anything, you know? to actually kind of show he had like a proper established relationship with someone, I guess, for like 10 months. Like, that's a big deal for a character like Daryl. We haven't really seen, you know, he gets shipped to basically everyone because that's just culture nowadays. But, you know, there's been like hints of stuff with other characters, but we've not actually seen him engage in a relationship with anyone. And I feel like we got that here with Leah. And, you know, I think if you're a fan of the Daryl and Carol pairing, the Daryl and Connie pairing, I think this is going to be quite the revelation. And it's hard to not make it feel like, yeah, they've just added this in. Because why has this not been mentioned already if it was such a big deal for Daryl? Like, everything he went through with Leah in this episode, losing her. Why has it not been brought up when he lost, or when Connie went missing originally? In a way, it could add to it. He's like, oh, I don't want to lose someone else. That's the sense of urgency behind Connie, plus the fact that there's a deep care between the two of them, and there have been like moments between them. I think you can argue there's been moments between Daryl and Carol as well. It depends, you know, what side that you kind of lean on with all of this stuff. So that kind of feels a bit strange to have been doing that, and then be like, oh, actually, this also happened for him. He's actually had a significant relationship with this person we've only just met in this one episode. We may never see again. I think it would be a waste if we don't see Leah again after this, because this was kind of huge. Because it did seem like they had a proper thing, like, all the way. So for that to be a one-off episode, I feel like it would be a shame if they don't continue it. But also, if they do continue it, where does that leave everything with, like, Carol or Connie, etc., etc.? It's kind of a mess. So I can see why people, I don't think, wouldn't like this. And I'm very much in the Daryl and Connie camp. I think they'd be great. And I think it still could be great. So while it's kind of weird that they've added this now, I don't actually mind it. I like that they showed Daryl has had like a stable relationship with someone. We've actually properly gotten a sense of that. It's a shame it seems to be like a one-off episode and very much an afterthought, and they're just, this would be a fun idea, let's just do this. It does feel that way, which isn't ideal. Very, you know, not that natural in that sense. Cool way of explaining like how he met Dog and everything, and how he took him on board. But also, like, why did she even leave Dog behind when she left? That doesn't seem like something she'd do. Did Dog like run away or whatever? I don't know. It feels like, you know, that was kind of, she lost her son the day Dog was born. You feel like she wanted to keep Dog with her as like a reminder, or was that painful and she just like abandoned him? That doesn't seem in keeping with her character either. Granted, we don't really know Leah that much. And to be honest, I do think this episode would have flopped for me if I didn't like Leah, but I actually did. I thought the actress was fantastic. I think that's the main reason it works, because, you know, everyone has a tragic backstory in The Walking Dead now. Everyone's lost a family member. You know, it wasn't anything particularly new that we got from her. You know, oh, I lost my son. Well, yeah, Rick, Morgan, get in line. So, yeah, that, not the most, like, original kind of thing in terms of that, but I think the actress really sold it, and I think there was a bit of chemistry there, honestly. I saw it. Maybe not as much as, you know, some other pairings that people may ship Daryl with in the fandom. And I'm not trying to say, you know, while I personally lean more towards the Daryl and Connie thing, I'm not trying to shit on anything else before people come at me and attack me for not liking or not preferring their ship. All of them are fine. You know, if any of them happen, I'd probably be fine with it. It's just I'd rather Daryl and Connie. That's it. But yeah, it's a weird one. But all that aside, just like the episode on its own merit, I thought was phenomenal. I really did genuinely love it. I think this could be one of my favourites of the entire season. Maybe even a bit beyond that. And I feel like that's going to be a really unpopular opinion, because I think this is going to really divide people. And I do think it's a misstep to have had such a huge deal like this and kind of be it in an unexpected episode they weren't planning on, to have it just be like a one-off episode thing, just a casual reveal that Daryl had a really significant relationship with someone for like the best part of a year. And he'd never mentioned it in the years since, which seems odd. But he, you know, in a sense, it seems he has made peace with it and moved on, you know, because of like his connection with Carol, his connection with Connie, and everything like that. And maybe this is just because Connie's missing, that's bubbling everything to the surface again. But it does feel like, oh, he's suddenly caring about this now because we've only just added this into the story that this happened to him. So I guess from a writing standpoint, okay. But the episode on its own, I really, really enjoyed. There was a lot of like timeline stuff, I guess, like jumping forward, jumping back, jumping forward, jumping forward, jumping forward. That felt very like, oh, okay. But I still think the episode told the story well enough. And I do think that, you know, if Norman wasn't as good as he was, and if I feel bad that I don't know the actress's name because I really liked her, but I think, yeah, the actress who played Leah was good, and that also carried the episode. Like I said, I think, you know, on paper, I think Leah's just like, yeah, it's a character who's there. But I do think the actress did a great job bringing her to life and kind of giving her something. I think her performance really did sell it. And if it had been a lesser actress, I think the episode would have been like, no, thank you. But regardless, it was cool to get some development like that for Daryl. To see that he was, you know, see him in the years when he was very actively searching for Rick still, and the fact that he called him his brother. It's like the bit where Rick calls him brother when he's like reaching out to like pull him out of a pit or something. I think that was like, was that early season 9? I think it might have been. So yeah, seeing him in those years was fun. Seeing that struggle, him and Carol on two different sides of the river and everything, and the end on very opposing sides by the end of the episode in the present day as well. That's kind of a bit of a thing there with them, which isn't ideal. The parallels they were doing with like Leah and the fish catching scene to then the Carol scene as well. They were both like very good at it first time, like beginner's luck, all of that. So there's some interesting parallels going on that you could definitely read and interpret in multiple different ways. Seeing the origin of dogs, seeing a tiny little like puppy dog, oh my god, wholesome. And the opening shot of just it being dog, just the absolute best. I love that they focused on him and we got like an origin story for how Daryl and dog came to be. The fact that Leah had actually called him dog and Daryl just kept the name. That could be his way, I guess, of honouring Leah in a sense. But it's hard to kind of examine things and be like, well, they've obviously retroactively added this, because I don't think we would have got this episode if they didn't extend the season, honestly. So yeah, getting some backstory there was interesting. And to see Daryl and establish a relationship was quite something. That's like such a big deal. And again, I don't know if it's well placed in like a bonus episode, just a one-time thing. I think while I loved this episode, I really did enjoy it. I do think it will suffer in the long run if we never see Leah again. But at the same time, I'm like, if they bring Leah back into it, that's going to really complicate things. There's already like the shipper wars that go on with the Carol and Donnie lot. And, you know, I'm one of those lot. I mean, I don't get into arguments over Twitter about it, because just like what you like and leave the other camp alone is what I would say. But, yeah, I don't know. That felt like a strange way of introducing it. So I guess it's just going to be a wait-and-see situation. We'll see what happens with it. And the same with, like, the Daryl and Carol fight at the end. It just seems like, well, we've had to add in this backstory all of a sudden, so now Daryl can be mad about it. So they kind of like making Carol's like, oh, it's not just Leah, it's not just Connie, you know, it's something else. And the fact that Carol was very unapologetic in a sense for, you know, the actions in the cave and stuff, and she's not sorry for how things necessarily ended up outside of, you know, obviously Connie going missing. She obviously does feel bad for that. And for Daryl to just turn on her like that, I kind of see it. And the whole idea of like, oh, our luck's running out. I'm like, you've never had any good luck. Why are you saying it's running out now? It's always been shit. So I don't know if I feel like that fight was kind of forced or not. And the trouble is they've announced the Carol and Daryl spin-off. I don't think it's exactly going to be like a prequel or anything, or like set during the 6 years that Rick was missing. I feel like it is going to take place after the events of the main show. So I'm like, well, obviously they're going to make up. Otherwise it's going to be a very strange decision to give them their own show when they don't talk to each other. So I guess it's an interesting thing to explore that divide between them. I don't know if that's going to linger into season 11, because I doubt Daryl and Carol are going to be in every single of these bonus episodes. Maybe they will, and that's how they explore it. But otherwise they've just kind of broken up that friendship a bit, and then they can't explore it because all these bonus episodes are focusing on different sets of characters. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to entail with that, but a lot of this is a wait-and-see situation. But on its own merits, like the writing choices aside and the timing of like such big revelations for characters, I did really bloody love this episode, and like I said, I think this might be one of my favourites of the season. I hope people like this one. I feel like I'm kind of worried about being in the minority here, but then again, I'm in the minority quite a few times with shows I watch, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I feel like I don't really have much to say because it was a very kind of focused episode on the story, and I think the kind of status of this episode is going to depend on how they explore the Daryl and Carol fight. If Leah ever comes back, if they keep mentioning this now that they've established it, what's going to happen with like Connie and stuff? Is that connection between her and Daryl going to be explored any further? Are they going to do a Carol and Daryl thing? Is that going to be explored? Like, how does that shift and change because of these events? You know, it's strange, but that's going to be quite the debate online, I imagine. And I'm just going to keep out of it and just be like, well, I thought the episode was good. But we got lots of dog, and I highly, highly approve of that. Love getting the origin story for that. And I thought Norman was fantastic in this episode, particularly the scenes where he discovered the house again. And you could just see that the nostalgia in his eyes. He's like, oh my God. Like, turns out he spent like nearly a year of his life like actually living in that place. So yeah, that was cool. The fact that he, you know, it's such a huge deal that he left that note being like, I belong with you. And it's such a big thing for Daryl to go through just in this one random bonus episode. I don't know how I feel about that choice. I do think that's kind of odd. But yeah, like I said, I thought this episode was phenomenal. I really do. And I will die on that hill, I guess. But if you disagree, I can see why this episode may have rubbed you the wrong way. I'm not sure if it's the best choice to have introduced a character like Leah, or at least introduce her and make it kind of a romantic bond between her and Daryl suddenly, even though he's never mentioned her in the years since this happened. But regardless, yeah. So such a big deal. He's like, oh, and Carol even knew all of this. And yet, we never got any of that up till now. Like, it's a really great idea, but it's just something that they didn't set up, so maybe they shouldn't have. But at the same time, I really liked that they did, and the additions to Daryl's character I think are kind of interesting, and I really, really loved the episode. So yeah, it's a weird one actually. Personally, I will defend this episode quite a bit. And while I do like the idea of Daryl and Connie, and I think they could still explore that and should, because, you know, years have happened basically since the events with Leah and everything. We may never just see her again. I'm kind of still okay with the fact that he had this connection with Leah, because I feel like maybe that's matured his character a bit and actually shown that he's capable of having a stable relationship with someone. And however they choose to explore that, or if they don't, at least there is some groundwork there now, even if it's very retroactively kind of forced into the narrative. So we'll see. But at least we got a dog origin story, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, while I will defend this episode, and I really bloody loved it, I genuinely do think this could easily be one of my favourite episodes of the season, potentially of the wider show. At least the last, I don't know. I really liked it. Even with that being said, I would absolutely get it if this episode really frustrated you, because I can accept that I think the choices they made in terms of when they introduced this at this point is a bit strange. But I liked it, and I will be intrigued to see what the general online kind of consensus is about this one. But yeah, very strong performances from everyone. I'm intrigued to see how this episode will age, given what they explore with these revelations and the Daryl and Carol fight, exactly where that's going to go. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed this episode a hell of a lot, and I hope at least a few of you did too, because that would be fat and that would be really fun. But if not, I also get it. So yeah, I guess we'll see how this episode fares as we continue with these bonus episodes in the final season, and maybe things will change when we look back on this one by the time the show's done, or if it's maybe this is just going to be a setup for the Daryl and Carol spin-off. Maybe this isn't something The Walking Dead will pick up and explore. Maybe this is something for that show to do. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, bloody fantastic episode. I loved this one. Honestly, one of my favourites of this season, which surprised me. But yeah, huge deal for Daryl's character, and for Daryl and Carol's relationship at the end. I really liked the actress who played Leah. I think she really elevated the role. Otherwise, it probably would have been a bit and I don't really buy the connection between her and Daryl, but I did because I think the actors were good. But we'll see what happens with it, basically. So watch this space kind of one. But for now, I think this is a brilliant, brilliant episode. And yeah, I think this is kind of set the standard maybe for the rest of these bonus ones. Because if the rest of them are this good, like I enjoyed the last week's episode a lot as well with Maggie. But for me, this was kind of another level of like, oh yes, nom, nom, nom. So we'll see if that continues. But yeah, that's going to be everything for this reaction. Let me know what you thought of it. But be respectful and kind to each other. It's okay to like what you like, and it's okay to dislike what you dislike, but be cool about it, basically. And yeah, until the next episode, thanks for watching.